I kind of appreciate that he's like, I'm not doing these generic G.I. Joe explosions.
Yeah.
Nobody really gets hurt, or they just kind of, a puff of air blows them up into the sky. And you're like, no.
Nah, he's throwing bodies and dummies everywhere. And I love, listen, if you're going to do it like Martin said, do it that way. Because,
consequences, bitch.
Yeah. It just looks funny. Just flaming bodies flying all over the place.
You forgot your boarding pass.
I'll be back to doing my comedy show in New York. And you can get your tickets now for that. People, you know that I've been going to New York and doing a comedy show there, and it's been going very well. The venue has been asking us to come back and just pretty much gave us a regular thing now. So I'll be there on June 21st, back at the Broadway Comedy Club and back in the Red Room, 9:30 show this time. Get your tickets now. These shows have been selling out every time we do them. And you can get your tickets by going over to BroadwayComedyClub.com, or you can go to Double Toasted NY and get your tickets now. Well, people are waiting for the triumphant return of Will Smith out there. I think people's cheeks are about to heal right now. I think it ain't so sore no more. It's got its softness back. And yeah, I think we are ready to forgive old Will Smith.
Well, the public might turn on you, but if you can quickly go back to doing the thing they love, they'll forget. Always forgiven.
And that doesn't mean some old slave movie.
No.
He tried to get everybody sympathy. Will Smith tried to get everybody sympathy to that damn slave movie with beat up an alligator. They're like, no, nobody want to see that struggle shit, man. Boy, that was a misstep right there.
That was.
He had to come out and apologize for that. I'm sorry for slapping y'all with that movie. He slapped that alligator like he did Chris Rock. Ain't nobody trying to see no slave shit. Hey, man, you better go back and make one of these bad boy movies. And listen, that we knew he was going to do this. That was the only thing that was going to redeem him right now. So we have Bad Boys 4 coming out.
Slow down. We are late.
Sorry, sir.
But I gotta go.
Oh, wow, look at that. Still in rare form, man. 30 years later. 29 if you want to. Yeah, if you want.
Who's counting?
If you want to be a hard ass about it, you want to be a stickler and all that kind of stuff. But the Bad Boys are back. But we're not talking about that right now. See, I've never seen the first Bad Boys, and have loved every. I know, and have really enjoyed anywhere from love to just really enjoyed these last movies, man.
Well, I'll be honest, I hadn't seen any until what was the last one?
Bad Boys for Life.
Bad Boys for Life. That was the first time I saw one of the movies. I'd already stayed away from them.
Really?
And then seeing Bad Boys for Life, I was like, oh my God, I love this so much. So I went back and watched 1 and 2.
Okay, so I've seen 2. Up until, I guess 2 and 3. And now I'll be seeing 4. We'll be seeing 4 tomorrow. But I had to go back and watch Bad Boys. For one, well, if I like these other movies, I need to see where it all started. But also, it was interesting to find out that the original Bad Boys still holds a splat, like I think like a 40-something percent, 43% on Rotten Tomatoes. Not very good. Not a big critical success when it came out at the time. And so, that's why I wanted to come in and look at this movie. Because, okay, it wasn't a critical success, but something worked. We're still making movies 30 years later.
This is your getaway car? What is this, a family station wagon?
Gotcha. Can you stay focused?
Hell no. All this ass up in Miami. Martin and I been to Miami. We couldn't stop. I might as well open the whole time. We couldn't stop turning our necks.
Whiplash.
Yeah. Shit, it was like watching a tennis match, except the tennis balls with buttocks. Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
I can't stop.
Yeah, exactly. Shit, if Martin and I were cops in Miami, nothing would get done.
Get yelled at the chief every week.
Yeah.
You guys haven't made a single bust.
Yeah, this would be us. This would be us every week. Yeah, we would. Yeah. Oh, hell no. Nothing to get done. No case to get solved. What is it about this movie that critics didn't like? Why is it that audiences, they vibe with this so much? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the original Bad Boys from 1995. We're going to talk about it, going to review it, and we're going to discuss why this film has had such lasting power to the point that we are still making bad boy movies today. And jump into the discussion. I'm sure you guys, please jump in with your own opinions, but I've gone and looked at some things and given some reasons why I think that this movie has held up, even though, and I even think some critics might even come around. Like,
I'm sure they would.
Yeah.
I'm shocked that it has a splat. That's I mean, this is the most restrained Michael Bay's ever been.
It's his first movie.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's at the time where there's a glut of action movies with a little comedy. It's a little bit crass, like Michael Bay can be.
Yeah.
But there's so much about it that makes it work.
Yeah. And cop buddy movies, you know, they were becoming popular again in the 80s. And then, you know, it kind of flowed over into the 90s. I mean, they were making everything cop buddy movies. Die Hard turned into a cop buddy movie by the time we got to Samuel Jackson.
Right,
you know?
right.
So it was a popular formula. But also, I think one of the big reasons for this movie's success is that you have guys out there who, they made movies that were critic proof, man. They made movies just to piss critics off sometimes. And critics came around later trying to be cool about it.
Right.
You know, oh, well, you know, did I say it that back then? Really? You sure? Well, I like it now. You know, and hipsters today have grown up to like say, all right, these movies, y'all missed the point. These movies are great. Those two guys are Don Simpson and Jerry Bruckheimer, the producers. They took action films to another level because their action films had a crazy hook to them. You know, not all of them, you know, and they produced certain movies separately. But like, you know, one of those movies that they both produced that was a big hit back in the day was The Rock.
You're a chemical freak. I'm a chemical super freak, actually.
And another. Fortunately, some things you never forget.
Yeah, people, this is where, you know, you had crazy Nick Cage and smooth ass Sean Connery breaking into into Alcatraz to stop a chemical terrorist. The whole thing was also kind of a Sean Connery doing a nod to James Bond. You know, so
he's unofficially James Bond.
Yeah. See, these crazy hooks like that, man, and they would get crazier. Like, shit, if they weren't working together, Jerry Bruckheimer, he really lost his mind. Like, he was the one that produced on his own Con Air. You remember that?
Today's flight is a special one.
What you looking at, punk?
Nothing, I was just mind on your cage.
Man, I like that movie. That's a fun one.
A lot of people love this movie, man, but they recognize this movie for what it is. This movie, I don't know. I think over the years, critics like this better. Why they don't like Bad Boys and they like Con Air, I don't know. But, you know, this is the one where you had Nicolas Cage with a Southern accent. You know, he was the man that was, he was an innocent man. You know,
it's always an innocent
he's
man.
always an innocent man, just protecting his family. This dude who just did one crime is put on a plane with the most dangerous criminals in the world.
John Malkovich is a skinhead.
Yeah, and these characters, I mean, they're pretty much cartoons, these criminals, man.
Yeah.
I mean, this movie is a plane full of crazier criminals, and the action was even wilder. I mean, I finally saw the end of this movie.
Oh, yeah.
How they killed John Malkovich.
Yeah.
I mean, I keep saying this, but that really was some Hanna-Barbera Looney Tunes shit.
Is this where, is it Nicolas Cage? He gets a broom handle or something through his leg and pulls it out and keeps on going?
I think so. Yeah. People. Dave Chappelle's in this movie. Yeah, it's crazy. You know, these films took advantage of the premise with over the top characters and, like I said, more over the top action. They would take something that, you know, could either be an okay action movie or at sometimes maybe even a generic action movie, and they just added a big dose of crazy to it.
A big dose of money.
A big dose of money.
And a big dose of crazy.
And that's the thing, you know, Bad Boys, by comparison, like Bad Boys didn't even have that crazy of a not subplot. They didn't even have that crazy of a premise or plot. You know, they didn't have to ramp up the actual plot here. You know, you got a ruthless criminal who stole a bunch of drugs from the police, and Will Smith and Martin Lawrence got to stop him. That's simple.
They got 72 hours to figure out who did it, or else the whole department's getting shut down.
Yeah, that's it. That is it, y'all. We'll talk more about that later. So where the genius in this movie came to play is the casting. Now, you could either say it's genius or it's just circumstance, because I learned something very interesting.
It's both, yeah.
Yeah, I learned something very interesting today, and I want to thank Kevin King for doing some research for me and giving me these clips. Thank you, Kevin. You always do a great job at this. We were about to get a different movie, probably even a weirder movie, if it had gone the way it was originally supposed to be cast.
You and Martin weren't the original choices for Bad Boys, right?
No, that's true. So Dana Carvey and John Lovitz. That's really true.
So what happened?
He cleaned it up. It wasn't so much John Lovitz's schedule. Don Simpson took the two of them out. Yeah, boys, we're gonna make this movie. Let's have a night on the town. And Don Simpson was coking it up so much that Dana Carvey was just like, this guy's wild. I'm not doing a movie with him.
And you know what? John Lovitz is like, Will Smith keeps saying that, and John Lovitz is it's almost like he's pissed because he's like, no, I want to do that movie. Bullshit, I turned that down. I know what this is. Y'all had a chance to be an action star. And Will Smith just keeps rubbing it in, man.
The original Bad Boy. I owe my whole career to this man taking another movie.
No, I didn't say, I said yes.
Yeah, man. I think John Lovitz, he's serious. Like, no, I didn't turn that down. Are you crazy?
Yeah, because Will Smith is like, see, I don't always turn down good movies because he famously turned down The Matrix.
Yeah, but that was one of the first big ones for him. And that's the boy. And just think about that.
It lifted him out of TV.
Yeah. Well, this would have been the goofiest movie had they been in there.
It would have been a completely different movie.
It would have been a completely different movie. Hell, y'all might as well just go ahead and animate this.
Because that was one of the things Michael Bay kept saying. The script that they had for this, he was like, this script sucks.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the money to get somebody to rewrite it.
Yeah, so they just had them ad-lib and put some edge to it.
Yeah.
Another thing is that Will Smith, I don't know what happened because he says that Martin Lawrence recommended him, but at some point it was supposed to be Arsenio Hall. Mm-hmm. And Arsenio Hall says that is the biggest mistake I have ever made, turning that down. Why you turned it down, I don't know. I don't know the story behind that. Maybe I'll look it up and we'll discuss it at some point later. But Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, the other thing that's crazy about that casting is, and you just said this, one is a comedian, one is a rapper that dabbles in comedy and whatnot, and is at the time, but both of them came from sitcoms. We all know the Fresh Prince right there. But of course, at the time, Martin Lawrence was very popular for his show.
I'll play the song.
Okay. He's getting PTSD from this because,
I know.
Well, back in the day, but when we were doing The Real Deal, we had a guy come in. He wanted to do sound effects for us, kind of like they did on Howard Stern. He came in, and every time Martin was doing his review, his ass was back there. Martin would just kind of shut his eyes and be like, this shit is old already.
It wasn't so much the show. It was life. I couldn't go anywhere. And somebody said, and your name? Martin. Oh, Martin! Yeah, that's him.
How about you call me Marty?
Yeah, as long as that show was on, that was anytime I went anywhere.
Wow. And we just added to it. Yeah. No wonder you were so used to it at that point.
Well, at least that was like the official song as opposed to people just doing it sounding like goats. Martin!
Somebody said, I'm dying looking at Martin's face. And that's why that dude would play it all the time, because Martin be giving his review. Well, I think that this movie doesn't... Y'all done?
Mommy!
Yeah. His eyes was just closed in defeat. Oh. That was cool that they decided to cast these guys, put these two black leads from sitcoms in a hard-edged action thriller, a comedy action thriller, but it was that it has its serious hard moments in there.
Yeah.
So it was crazy that they did that.
Well, those two guys being so comedic, it was good they got them who could rewrite things on the fly.
Yeah,
and being that it was ad lib, not so much the Judd Apatow style, but they could be natural. So it felt natural between the two of them.
Yeah, and you can tell that some of the dialogue isn't that great, but the way that they sell it, I mean, their chemistry, like 5 minutes into the movie, it's incredible to watch.
No, man, that's the thing with this movie, man. You know, both of them have comedic experience because they're both coming from sitcoms, and forget the action, because Michael Bay, he's done this action in several movies, and when it's just left to be action, it gets a little old. It can get a little tiresome. These guys brought personality to this movie. Their chemistry was instantly great. As you said, Martin, it was natural because they were allowed so much to improvise.
I love you, man. Fuck you, Marcus.
I'm a bad boy.
Bad boys, bad boys. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come?
I love how they're that song all
of them doing it on purpose too. What you gotta do? Man, I love that. I love that. And you're right, from the beginning of the movie, they got that going on right there. I think that's why people love this, because it's not the action that they see first. It's that chemistry with them.
The funny thing is, Michael Bay always says he has trouble watching this movie because he looks at the action scenes and go like, I could do that so much better. And they just gave me money. This shot isn't right. And it's like, dude, that's not what makes this work.
Thank you. No, that's not. No, nobody. That action we've seen, because all you're gonna do is just blow up more shit. It's gonna be just bigger explosions. I mean, you've done that over and over again. You've done that with robots and aliens and all kinds.
Well, it's his first time out, so he hadn't perfected it yet.
And even here, like one of the things I was telling you downstairs, like the fire that they have in this, and one scene in the middle, it's incredible. It's huge.
Yeah.
Well, shit, he ain't perfected it today because he don't know when to quit. He don't know when to pull back.
Yeah, no.
It's cool. Them goddamn robots just blowing up everything. It means nothing now. I'm just numb from it. When you add some personality to it like this is when, now we have this case here where I feel like, because we were talking about this downstairs, restrained because he had to be.
Oh, true.
Like nobody, he didn't have the same money and the same power, so he had to rely on the personality of his actors right here. And I'm telling you, man, with the characters they have here, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, they were great. But man, the rest of the casting here felt natural too. Even some of the smaller roles, because I loved how Martin Lawrence as Mike Lowry. And what's Martin Lawrence's name? Mike Butler.
Mike Burnett.
Mike Burnett.
Is it Barnett?
I think so. Chad, help us out here.
Barnett.
Because everybody knows Mike Lowry.
Yeah,
but everybody just calls Martin Lawrence Marcus Burnett.
Marcus Burnett, yeah.
Yeah, those two, I love when the way they interact with some of the other cops at the precinct.
Oh, yeah.
Because all of them childish.
The hell are you talking about, cojones?
Cojones, it would take me a month to explain to you what
That's a
cojones is.
cojones.
You're in Miami, you don't know what cojones is.
Guys, hey!
And macho to the point of being childish.
Yeah, I love that, man. I mean, it looked like they let the whole cast kind of improvise. Because I think, like you said, Michael Bay, he just didn't like the script so much that he said, y'all just do what you want to. Let me blow up some shit and y'all just go ahead and do what you do.
Well, he said he kept reading. He's like, this was written for two white guys and it just doesn't seem authentic. And you guys, if you were to do this, how would you do this better? And he let him go.
You my partner. Shut up, man. Slow ass driving like a bitch.
Can you imagine that same dialogue being done by these two? You're driving like a bitch. Slow down.
The Jewish boys.
I'm looking at some of the other people that they've cast in this. We're talking about how they use some of the smaller casts very well too. How everybody's kind of improvising. But, for this to be such a generic cop buddy story, they've actually taken some of the things that would have been stereotypes, and they allowed the actors who are very good to just kind of take that above and beyond those stereotypes. Oh, Joey Pants over here.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Pantoliano. He could have he's the chief. He could have just been the another chief behind a desk, just screaming the whole time.
Yelling at him.
Yeah, and he does do that. I mean, he screams, but he's not just behind the desk. He finds several different locations. Like, dude just started playing basketball at one point.
Yeah, it just became a giant Michael Jordan reference.
Yeah, and I love that, man. I love that because, again, you know, they just put him in different locations and bump up his role so that he, you know, the actor himself can make this more than just the stereotype we see in every other movie.
You guys are bad news.
Whoa, wait a minute. What the hell is going on in here?
I was like getting them all in before you showed up.
Can somebody
Such a crazy idea, smoking a cigar and playing basketball. It's like, how is that conducive? Like you're working out and you're smoking? Like,
yeah, you should see it ain't working. It's working out. It's not working out.
I was getting it in before you touched it.
I love that. Just out there missing every shot because he didn't make one shot when this scene started.
Worst form.
Yeah, he shoot like a kid. He might as well just go ahead and just put it between his knees.
Grandma
Shut up.
style.
Yeah. Even the henchmen in this movie, like they kind of start out as average henchmen, but then they get some dudes in here. They got an actor named Vic Manny, I think is his name. And that guy had me laughing so much. Some of the other things had me laughing the way these, like, I think you hit it right, man. Some of these moments with these henchmen just turn into Three Stooges.
Yeah. Like there's a scene where someone is escaping. One of them says to the other, "I'm gonna shoot him." No, I'm gonna shoot him. They just like go back and forth. It's like both of you are dumb. It's like shut up. Just do it.
Well, there's one where dude he straight up pulls a mo on this guy. He catches the guy smoking in this van full of explosives. He just starts slapping the shit out of him.
Anybody tells you to move, don't. I don't care what they say. Tell them you're making a delivery for Mr. Boucher, okay? You got it? You got it, Frank? Oh. It's Ethan. Let's go.
Fucking slapped him twice.
Yeah. Like, oh, jeez.
Yeah, that moment, like, what am I gonna do with this guy? No, but this is gonna beat his ass. I love that. Yeah, they didn't have to do that. Now, this is what I would give Michael Bay and his editor. Like, they just kept all these little moments in that other movies would have cut out.
Yeah.
Like these two characters, they don't come back.
No.
We don't see them no more.
Anybody tells you to move, don't. I don't care what they say. Tell them you're making a delivery for Mr. Boucher, okay? You got it? You got it, Frank? Oh. It's
Those characters are just there for one to slap, the other to be slapped. They don't come back.
But that scene is important because it sets up what's going to happen later with the barrels.
No, it does. I'm just saying we didn't need that scene in there.
No.
But it's funny. I need it. And then they got this dude, Vic Manny. Like he's like, again, this guy don't have any big moment in this movie. He's there to just kind of like he's not even effective. He's like this big dude who can't even, I don't even know they got him. Like he's trying to chase down a car. He can barely walk, much less run, trying to run down a car.
Oh, yeah.
And one dude just sees his big ass running and just says, you're useless. And then they just start cussing each other out. And I'm telling you, man, it feels so natural. It feels like I'm watching not an episode of The Sopranos, but like I'm watching the real mob guys.
Oh, yeah.
Cuss each other out.
How do you miss him? Hey, you fat!
Watch mouth, will you? Get the license plate?
Yeah, I got the plates.
They just left that in there because those guys were so good.
Uh-huh.
One of the complaints I would have is that the women were not given too much to do, and it's sad but not surprising. 1995,
yeah.
What are you gonna do? And it's too bad because you had some good actresses in there. Teresa Randall is really good.
Teresa Randall is actually not a good actress.
Because I liked her here.
They use her sparingly, and this is probably like one of her best performances.
Really?
Yeah, but she was always very pretty, but not that great of an actress.
See, I thought, man, with the little bit that she had here, she was great. And I mean, even when she wasn't talking, there's a look that she gives in this scene that I'm about to show you that had me laughing.
Cleveland.
Captain Howard said, I'm irresponsible. No, he said loose cannon. That's because I'm shooting in public. Bang, bang, just out of nowhere sometimes.
I love the way she just ready to beat his ass. She just stared at him. I thought, for the little bit that she was in there, she was good. Then I remember, she was in Spawn. But Spawn is just a terrible film. And Tia Leone, who's fine as hell, she's not given a whole lot to do here except just being danger and a plot device. Mm-hmm. I thought there were moments though, just small moments, she was kind of holding on with Martin Lawrence. Because Martin Lawrence is, he's the real whirlwind in this movie. We all know Will Smith, but Martin Lawrence is one he's carrying a lot of this movie. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, you got some good moments where she's able to have some nice scenes with him and kind of keep up with him.
I bet his wife's enjoying the smoothness right this minute.
And what she's trying to do is, so they have this whole plot line in there, and we were talking about this where, and I don't think it's even necessary. This is where it's like, okay, you could have simplified this, but Marcus has to pretend to be Mike and vice versa for them to keep this witness around. She witnessed the murder of Mike's friend. And so Marcus has been lying to her the whole time, and she's starting to figure out what it is. And so she ain't saying it, she ain't letting it all out there, but she's kind of on to what they're doing right now.
I mean, I can't imagine the kind of woman that wouldn't find Marcus attractive.
If two people were alone.
No, not with a guy like that.
And what she's with his head because Mike is with his wife. Since he has to be with her, Mike has to be over at the house protecting Marcus's wife, and she's just with his head talking about, yeah, you know, women can't be around Mike without being, you know, wet and everything.
Excuse me.
Got your ass. Yeah, you know, she's. I don't know, man. Do you like Tia Leone as an actress? I do too.
Yeah.
She's, like I said, she's not given a whole lot.
Yeah, she always felt like somebody who was going to break out and be bigger. I mean, you know, she was in the spotlight for a while.
Yeah, she was.
I don't know, it seemed like once she married David Duchovny, she kind of faded to the back.
You know, I think it's impressive that Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, they also kind of handled the action well. Now, you can look at this and tell exactly when they're using stunt doubles. They ain't even trying to hide it. You know, I'm not saying the stunt doubles look bad. They just cut to when the action goes crazy, and you're not seeing their faces or anything. So it's clearly that they traded out the stunt double right there. But what I will say is that they handled the action well because they did utilize the strengths of the actors. Like with Martin Lawrence, you know, they always managed to kind of put in a little extra dose of comedy or something funny whenever he was doing his action scenes.
Next time, learn how to work the safety with your punk ass.
See, I mean, they made it look effective, like when he had to beat somebody's ass. None of us would have thought that Martin Lawrence could fight like that or whoop somebody down, you know, until we saw this movie, and they made it look convincing.
That whole scene is badass. The guy throws the plastic bag over his head.
I know.
Him off. Yeah, that was a good part.
Yeah, that scene was actually pretty intense. You know, it didn't start out funny. It like started out with him like trying to suffocate him, right, with that plastic bag. Yeah, I'll show you some of that because that was even when I was watching, I was like, damn, this is kind of an intense scene right here. It was working. Yeah, it starts out like some mafia shit. Like he turns around and one dude comes up behind him with the bag to suffocate him.
What's up, motherfucker?
Like I was like,
damn, he kicked old Corey Feldman in the face.
Yeah, somebody, Marshall, let's see the kick. Damn. That was a good scene. That was a well-directed scene. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, and I was glad to see that there was some action movie that used a fish tank before Monkey Man. Because when I saw that Monkey Man, I was like, what influences him?
I saw that too, and I was like, made me think of Monkey Man when they hit the fish tank. I'm sure they've done that in other movies too. Yeah. Like I said, when I say know how to handle their talents well, so many, and you got so many scenes as the movie went on where just you got Will Smith running looking like an R&B star with his shirt just open in the breeze, chest just showing. He got that one shoulder. They know what they doing, man.
Yeah, that's why people kept coming back to see these.
Hell yeah.
Women for sure.
Hell yeah. So when I saw the 43% on Rotten Tomatoes for this, I did see how some people wouldn't like it back then, you know, because I do think there's some things in there that could be criticized. Probably, you know, some people criticize them more than others. Again, the plot is extremely thin here, and your villain is, man, that villain ain't shit. That guy's Turkish, by the way.
Checky Cario.
Yeah. What's his name?
Checky Cario.
Chucky?
Checky.
Okay. Shit, at that point, just say Chucky.
Chucky Karaoke.
Yeah. Yeah, that villain, man, he's weak, I thought, because he's just, all he is angry. That's all. He's just there to yell at people and intimidate people.
You shut up!
Oh shit.
You're fucking with my timetable here. I gave you a deadline. You understand? Do you understand?
Jeez, he's like a high school bully or something, man.
I thought that was that character's best scene though, because it was showing like just that he was an idiot, you know, like that he wasn't giving the scientist time to cut his drugs. They're like, look, we're gonna f this up. He's like, I gave you a deadline. It's like that's not how science works.
And then if you try to tell him how science works, he kills you.
Yeah, exactly.
He actually killed one of these guys too, and I was like, how is that helping you?
How does that help? Yeah. Now you have 6 hours. Okay.
And you don't have a scientist, so you stupid ass. And of course, you know, this being 1995, they had some stereotypes in here, you know, that probably you wouldn't be able to get away with today, like the whole Middle Eastern guy just looking like an idiot, and just
the pawn shop
at the
or
it was
liquor
at
store?
the convenience store.
Okay.
Yeah, so you got, of course, the Middle Eastern guy working the convenience store, and he just sounds, you know, he just made him just a dumbass for for comedy's sake.
I blow you, then I blow you.
Blow me? What the fuck now?
You want some bad enough, then you come.
And I think that's another thing. I think sometimes the ad-libbing, it just kind of devolved into yelling. Sometimes I think they yelled a lot. It didn't bother me a whole lot. I noticed it, but I think some other people, it might bother some people. So, you know, it's just, it's at a point where I felt like, all right, even if it's not bothering me that much, you can cut this short. But that's the problem with ad-libbing sometimes, is that I think sometimes you just let people go on and go on and go on. And it's fun when you're there. It's fun when you're the director and you were there. But for other people, you know, it could go on a little bit too long.
Get some. Wait. Hey, freeze, bitch.
You freeze, bitch.
Oh, shit.
I think also taking those guys out of it, man, you know, another thing that probably got on people's nerves is Michael Bay. There's just a lot of Michael Bay things in here, a lot of Michael Bay stuff. Like from, you know, Michael Bay, this is what he did. He does this with a lot of movies, especially with Transformers. You know, he just focuses on minor characters who don't have anything to do with the movie. He just stops to focus on them just doing something, just some childish stuff, some nasty stuff. Like they got this dude ate tacos and just farting. And it was a guard. We didn't need to hear all that.
He could be childish and not the best of ways.
No, this guard right here, he's just put in here just to fart. We don't need to hear that from him.
Goddamn taco's gonna kill me.
And next scene. He's out. You know, we don't see this dude no more. You know, Michael Bay throws in all these little silly things in there. I think he thinks they're funny, and it's like, and for some people they are.
Well, I appreciate that nobody's treated like a minor character. Like you get something of them before they, you know, are taken out.
And that was quick also. I thought that scene was really well edited. I mean, they're stealing the speed is moving fast. I thought it was fun.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just like, you have to stop and wait for this man just to fart on me, right? Rolls up in his chair. I will tell you though, it looked like he really is hurting right now. The end goes full Michael Bay crazy, or at least the third act does. And I'm gonna tell you, sometimes I like it when Michael Bay just goes especially crazy, because it's like he just kind of, he gets caught in a frenzy, and he just starts trying to kill everybody. Like he just starts trying. He doesn't just like get in the car chases. Like this fool starts trying to run down people on bicycles. Run your ass in. Here it goes. My man, he just wants to hit everything. Like if it has wheels on it, he wants to hit it. Like there's a bunch of dudes that came out in wheelchairs. He's like, y'all shit, y'all got wheels. Y'all gotta get hit. Oh no. I'm surprised he didn't run him over with a car. But yeah, if you got a skateboard or anything, you better watch out. And then the thing you were talking about, man, at the end, just the explosions. And you know, and this is the Michael Bay that we know. You know, this is where Michael Bay, you know, like I tell you, it's funny because in this movie, it's just one. It's just one big ass explosion.
Yeah, come on!
I know you're down. You know you ain't that hurt. Get your ass up. I would let ass blow up. I was like, man.
He knew what this was.
Yeah, he would have wanted me to live.
Damn, it's just gonna blow!
If that had been Michael Bay today, we would have had at least 10 of those.
Oh yeah.
It would still be blowing up to this day.
Yeah, but it set off a chain reaction.
Yeah, but you know, even back then, like I said, man, he was still crazy because it wasn't enough just to have a big explosion. I did laugh at this. He had to have bodies just flying.
Oh, I know.
Oh,
all
yeah.
over the
Well,
place.
you know, I kind of appreciate that he's like, I'm not doing these generic G.I. Joe explosions.
Yeah.
Where nobody really gets hurt, or they just kind of, a puff of air blows them up into the sky. And you're like, no.
Nah, he's throwing bodies and dummies everywhere. And I love, listen, if you're going to do it, like Martin said, do it that way because, you know.
Consequences, bitch.
Yeah. It just looks funny. Just flaming bodies flying all over the place.
You forgot your boarding pass.
I love that scream. Was that CG? I think that was CG. I'm not sure.
This movie looked pretty practical for the most part.
Somebody said blew his ass out that plane, and these dudes just having fun. Yeah, man. I gotta give it to anybody, but Michael Bay when he's doing that and having fun, even I get caught up in it sometimes.
Yeah, with his explosions and car chases, people get hurt. They get killed.
Yeah. Oh man, you know, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. You know, I think this movie is so loved by everybody because, you know, when you have those two guys in here, man, you know that, and to a certain extent, Michael Bay with his crazy ass. You know, the movie's not taking itself seriously anymore. No. You know, but it's still going hard with the action. But these guys are there, as I said, to give it personality. And I think that is what gives this movie its lasting power. It's not the action so much, but these guys who are just, you know, and everybody who's just so natural in here.
Well, especially when you consider Bad Boys for Life, it's not even directed by Michael Bay, but it's loved because it's these two guys. They are what makes this franchise.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah.
I mean, this is a perfect storm of so many things. You brought up Jerry Bruckheimer, Michael Bay, Martin Lawrence, and Will Smith, them coming together. It is a special example of what you can do when you have like this action vehicle for like really talented actors, and there's a director who will bring a lot of style to it.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed this a lot, man. And the reason why I enjoyed it is because I laughed so hard.
Oh yeah.
I don't see it. I mean, I can see if it annoys some other people, but I don't see how. If you just sit down and just let yourself go, how you couldn't really have a lot of fun with this, especially just watching it at home. You know, forget the theater, especially with a nice TV and a good sound system too.
That sound is amazing.
Yeah, it is. Anything you want to add?
I mean, we pretty much covered it. When I was mentioning style, you know, I like how he had some scenes where the lens was dipped in piss and like it gave a look to different areas.
That was definitely at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah,
you know?
and it ends with it too. At the end, it started kind of looking like Crank, you know, like where they're out there with like that yellow hue over everything.
Yeah, but you know, you're right. With that Michael Bay is known for hues, and at the beginning of the movie, it definitely you can see right here. You know, damn, it is piss yellow out there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, especially when they show the sky.
And that was shot at the end.
There was?
Yeah, like when it was all done, he was like, I really don't like this opening. It doesn't have a bang to it.
Really?
So they went back and shot that part. That was like the last thing they shot.
Oh, nice. That's cool.
Yeah, I think that, I mean, the only thing that I really wanted to add was that it was interesting seeing something that was so melodramatic coming from Michael Bay. Because Michael Bay now, it's like, it's a boys club, the way he does it. It's like, big dicks, big tits, and explosions, baby, in America.
Yeah.
And this was this incredible, like, example of these actors who have amazing chemistry and some really slick direction. Definitely a low full price for me.
Yeah, it would be a full price for me too if I had to rate it. What would you
same.
rate?
Same
Yeah,
price.
no, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, man. Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.